We don't know. Usually people are going to say that when it comes to the motivations themselves, they were really helpful by this XYZ book that really helped them understand the world themselves. And I do think that the longest road to learning something is knowing yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the S3E7. Today I'm going to do like a mini criticism about the issue with the motivational books. Now, people, before I get into it, I'm just going to say that George Carlin used to say, so aren't you motivated enough? If you go to a certain bookstore, you see, oh, I'm already motivated. I can go, oh, fuck you, I'm going out of here. Now, the point I'm trying to make in this video, that's going to be very relatively brief. I won't be venting and ranting too much. Now, with the issues of like the books of why haven't you killed yourself or everything has gone to shit. Now, those type of things have really helped people, either to understand themselves better. But the issue I have is that those type of motivations somebody's actually seeking for their own self-help or benefits to become better version of persons themselves, they can see in any form of literature in the past 20th century, or even among the Greeks or the Romans or Egyptian or whatever, whichever literature there is, like to have and to possess it in your books. Now I can start with, since you already see Mr. Ernest Hemingway in my thumbnail respectively, of course, hence why I decided to compare Hemingway and the motivational books. Now, for those of you, I think you're pretty much familiar with who is Ernest Hemingway, or who was in general. Hemingway has seen a lot of bad shit in his life. He has survived 2 world wars, 2 aircraft incidents, or whatever you want to call it, and he had like a very tumultuous love relationships himself, and he has produced one of the greatest books of all time. I can go with The Sun Also Rises, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Farewell to Arms, Movable Feast, and among many of his magnum opuses, which I'm going to consider. Now, why I've decided to put Mr. Ernest Hemingway in my thumbnail is because if you're not motivated enough to go to a gym to start eating differently than you ate, like yesterday, 2 days before, 3 days, 4 days, 3 човека, 5, whatever the fuck. The point is that in this context, you have to only seek that's actually in front of you, in front of your eyes. Now, I'm not going to say that you should stop reading motivational books. I'm saying that these novels are your motivational books. I can give you The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway, in which he's, you have to check it for yourself because I'm not the spoiler person, except for the Marvel, in which Iron Man dies and everybody dies in Infinity Wars and Endgame when it comes to Thanos. Now, the point is, as we're trying to move forward, you can also see if you have some family issues. I'm currently filming and you're listening to this video, you can read by one of my favorites, William Faulkner, The Sound and the Fury. You can also read Absalom. You can also read Light in August. You can also read Rose for Emily. But if you really want to be philosophically invested into the family issues, you can read by Fyodor Dostoevsky, The Brothers Karamazov, and you can see for yourself that your family issues are not that far from the issues they had in Karamazov family or any other family. Like, every family is happy in the mirror image of themselves, but every family is misfortune in its other shapes or forms. Now, to this on-setting rant about motivational books, why I decided to make this video is because I've kind of grown tired over the years for people to tell me that they've read some XY random motivational book and they were helped by that book. Now, my contra argument is that in order for you, I can recommend you John Steinbeck, and you can read The Grapes of Wrath. You can actually even read The Pearl. In The Pearl, in which you can see the depths of the human greed and how far people can go, and to be motivated, fucking motivated, for you to fuck you up and really steal for you whatever you have gained or garnered from your end. If you want to see how rich people are miserable, you can also read The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and there, or The Beautiful and the Damned. You can see the curse of the rich people. If you want to feel motivated, you can also read Nothing New in the West by Erich Maria Remarque, in which you can see the horrors of the World War I. But all these things that people have described in the past century and the centuries before, even by meditations by Marcus Aurelius, you can see that not much has changed that much when it comes to the motivation itself, that you really don't have to go and to read those books I just mentioned at the beginning of my video. And I'm not saying those books are not that much helpful, because for me they didn't help me that much to understand the world, because I already understand the world when I started to read those all the books I just mentioned as a suggestion. If you understand politics, you can go with Filthy Hands by Jean-Paul Sartre, in which literally nothing has changed ever since the World War II or prior to the World War II. It's the same thing. Sorry. In which they are claiming that the politics are just the same game, same chess, same checkers, same people. If you want to understand how apathy can give you a freedom, you can read Albert Camus, The Stranger, or The Plague, or any of those books. If you understand how bureaucracy is fucked for you to give motivation to have all the papers not photo yet on peu, you can read The Trial by Franz Kafka, you can read The Castle, you can read Murakami, you can read Ivo Andrić, you can read Mesha Selimovic, you can read Danilo Kish, you can read Borisov Pekic. For you, if you want to understand more about the Kanceroslavia history or Yugo NPC history, you can read Borisov Pekic. You can watch the Black Waves in the mid and late 60s in Kanceroslavia, in NPC Slavia, to have a motivation if you want to become a movie director, to make a TV show, to write a TV show, to make a movie, or anything in that regards. But please don't stress me with those fucking self-motivational books are a fucking waste of time, because the world that is in front of your hands, it's already in those books. Not just books I just mentioned, books I didn't mention as well. If you want to see the bigger picture, here is the greatest fucking motivational books of all time. Fucking Lord of the Rings, if you want to be motivated for you to achieve your dreams and goals. You can read Silmarillion from Tolkien. You can read The Hobbit. You can read those type of science fiction books in which you can clearly see. If you want to feel the political censorship and how people can be severely retarded and just follow blindly like the sheep they are, you can read 1984 by George Orwell. You can read by Aldous Huxley, Doors of Perception. You can read his books, the most famous book in which he's describing some fucked up things that people are doing when they're given ultimate freedom, stuff like that. But the point is that all these books are already having their own form of self-motivation, which they're going to help you to become a better person. But it's not just about having those type of books. It's more about understanding the context and the current situation you're in. It's not just about why you haven't committed suicide or the world has gone to shit. People have been thinking about this about the past 2,000 years and so on. They found themselves in some other forms of release or entertainment or motivational mentally, because they didn't have those motivational BS speakers to tell them everything is your day, manifesting and stuff. You can really actually manifest, but if you read all the books I just mentioned in this video, you're going to see the Mr. in the thumbnail, Ernest Hemingway, did not need any self-fucking motivation, because he was Sigma himself for him to live. And yes, he was very toxic, and people are gonna fucking bother him in the comments. They're going to say that Hemingway was the bad person on its own in his own style. Yeah, I fucking get that, I understand. But the point I'm trying to make, the points I'm trying to make in this video, that for you to fucking read self-motivational books are a fucking waste of time. Roll credits, ha ha ha. Now, if you want to feel any sort of books, you can ask Mr. ChatGPT if you need some additional books for you to understand, because all those motivations are already in those books. Not just like Hemingway or Faulkner or Fitzgerald or Steinbeck or Kafka or any of those writers I just mentioned. You can read The Wuthering Heights by Bronte, and then you're going to see the precursor or preteča of fucking toxic relationships. And for the women and girls currently listening and watching this video, girl, if you want to find out what's precursor of toxic relationship, Wuthering Heights, you're fucking welcome. You can read Sylvia Plath if you're struggling with depression, and you're going to see how depression is a very common thread in the world, and how you don't need those self-fucking motivational books. Just read from Sylvia Plath her books or her poems, and you're going to see how people can actually emotionally feel depths the glass jar and to understand the world itself. Now, don't try to understand the world yourself, try to understand yourself. Now, with these books and the self-motivation bullshit, what has been pissing me off is when they're taking away the credit from all the writers I mentioned or lived in the 20th or even centuries before. If you want to find out, you can read Honoré de Balzac. If you want to find out what vengeance is truly is, like in DC Comics by Bruce Wayne, because it's a Serbian channel, if I say the main name for Bruce Wayne, they're gonna rhyme it, so that's not gonna happen. And the point is, read The Count of Monte Cristo if you want to find out what vengeance is all about. Now, the problem is that I have with those type of books is actually they're taking away that momentum or the issue of taking gratitude, because all those books I said and things are there in front of you to fucking see it and to understand. If you want to get motivated, you need novels, you need novellas, you need short stories, you need tragedy, you need Homer, you need Shakespeare, you need John Milton, you need, if you want to read about how you want to motivate yourself not to fucking shoot your head, not to end up like Kurt Cobain or, you know, people jumping out of fucking airplanes. Hey, jump off a fucking airplane if you think you're not motivated enough. Good luck with that, by the way. Or you can try bungee jumping. I heard a lot of things change when you bungee jump, and you see for yourself that when you give yourself freedom to the gravity and the nature itself, you kind of change your mind and perception now, wouldn't you? Now, the other things, if you want to see motivation by the people, you can also read my book, Eyes I Shall Not See Again. You can also read Children of the South. You can also read Feast of the Wolves. You can also read my book of poems, Days of Misanthropy. And you're going to understand what I'm talking about and what's the core issue with the world today. If the world is fucked up enough, you yourself have to understand that no self-motivational books are going to help you to get up from your current rotten spirit that you're currently degrading in. You need to find a better source of materials, because fuck motivational books and fuck who wrote them anyway in the first place. Because all motivation you actually need in this case, the context I'm currently filming this video, is also in Christ as well. Brothers Karamazov, Fyodor Dostoevsky. If you want to see how people can be schizophrenic in wars, Leo Tolstoy, The War and Peace, Ratimir. If you want to see Serbian history, you can check The Bridge on Drina, Nadrini Chuprija, Ivo Andrić. You can actually have a shit ton of ways for you to educate yourself, but don't fucking tell me you're gonna get motivated by some rando who's going to write on his book cover how I didn't want to commit suicide and how squirrels preserve me from cutting down trees in a near-batch area of Mexico Gulf, whatever the fuck. Now you see the point. The reason I'm pissed off is because there are a lot of fucking books that can actually help you if you see and open your fucking eyes, if you understand how the world is functioning. Not only the books are the medium, the movies as well. If you want to find out the precursor for the Epstein Island, how about Stanley Kubrick, Eyes Wide Shut? How about The Matrix, by Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Kate Moss. You see the point. Now, for you to understand how decadence is working in his family, The Sound and the Fury is a perfect medium for you to understand that when things are going downhill, it's already too late to prevent them from going downhill. If you really want to find out how family is working, go read Faulkner or read Dostoevsky. If you want to troll people, read The Men from the Underground. If you understand how good people are going to be demonized by evil people, read Idiot by Dostoevsky. If you want to find out about your own demons, you can read Demons by Dostoevsky. You can also read the Master and Margarita from Bulgakov and see how the government is going to fuck you up and censor every single shape, form of the way that you're currently experiencing as you're trying to live and breathe in this godforsaken world. God does exist, and don't fucking tell me the two rocks fucked each other's brains out, and today because of them, of those horny rocks at the height of their libido, I am today telling you in this YouTube video, the chances are very, 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 very liminal, very, very, very limited, very 0.0000000 until the end of time zeros, for you to understand that the world was made by God. Now, the problem is with these self-motivational books, you kind of the only showing you the one side of the world is just, hey man, the world is fucked up, but here is what I did. But how about you take more serious novels and just fuck with it and roll with it and see for yourself? And if you think I'm full of shit, read all those fucking books I mentioned in this video and tell me otherwise, and tell me that self-motivational fucking bullshit ass, stupid, retarded books are not your medium to go to if you want to become the better version of yourself. You have to fight and see the beauty and aesthetics in other literal books, like in novels, in novellas. For you to understand the world, you need to seek for the novels. If you understand how people can be greedy, go read Shakespeare. If you want to understand how people are stupid, you can check for any Hollywood movies that are describing about people being stupid. Go watch Drive if you want to have some, love tragedy. Source Code. You can read and search, but it's not just self-motivation books that are a waste of fucking space and a waste of a fucking time just because somebody survived. And usually they're going to end up on some New York Times list. Hey, this guy, hey, here's how I did it and it worked wonders for me. It worked wonders for him or her because there are only two genders, but it won't work wonders for you because you're a different individual than the individual himself or herself who wrote that book in the fucking first place. Now, prior to me finishing this video, I just have to say thank you so much for coming to the S3E7 Blade Runner 2147. My name is Mr. Heller, and I wish you to become a member of my channel. Thank you humbly. And for those who have difficulty understanding me, I just wanted to vent out because I've been holding this bullshit about self-motivational books for very, 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 very fucking long ass fucking motherfucking time. And I'm fucking venting and I'm fucking pissed when people are claiming some stupid fucking retarded motivational books. My G, you don't need self-fucking-help motivational books. Go read literature and you're going to find yourself on the brinks of existential dread. If you want existential dread, how about you read I Have No Mouth and I Have to Scream? If you want to feel the contemptuous hatred for the mankind, and you have been feeling contemptuous hatred for the mankind, go fucking read that book and tell me otherwise. You can read Orwell, you can read Huxley, you can read any of those people, actually Hunter S. Thompson, if you want to see how people are gonna fucking far go away. Read Thompson. Hey, if you want to feel sarcastically or sardonically better by yourself, go read John Fante, Ask the Dust, one of my favorite books. You can read yours truly, Catch-22, if you want to find out what is my sense of humor about Catch-22. Or if you want to really feel complicated, you can read David Foster Wallace, The Infinite Jest. Whichever, just fucking read all those books I just mentioned, recommended to you, and the writers and whatever the fuck. Just don't fucking tell me self-motivational books really help me to understand the past and buttons. Nobody gives a fuck about self-motivational books. It's about reading the fucking Sigma literature. So take a hike and don't fucking tell me self-motivational books. Self-motivational books are only for individuals who only wrote the book by themselves. And nobody can tell me otherwise, because all that motivation that you're lacking of, I found at university when I read one of my favorite writers, of Faulkner and etc. So that motivation was already there in my body, in my spirit, in my soul, in my mind, in my writing, in my ways. And long before you told me you read some rando telling you how you should get better. In order for you to get better, you need to find something better for you to become better. Once again, thank you so much for coming to this channel, S3E7. Self-motivational books are a fucking waste of fucking time. Mr. Heller on the voice and the radio speaker for you to become a much fucking better person yourself. Fuck the censorship. Become straight edge. Believe in Christ because Christ is king. And nobody can say it otherwise. And yeah, God created the world, and I have to tell you, when you become straight edge, when you denounce your vices, and I'm not saying that there are no people without vices, but when you leave those vices, the people are going to abandon you as well. But if you need a motivation to become straight edge, CM. Until S3E8, I will talk to you fucking very soon. Fuck motivational books and go find yourself in literature and thank me later, you ungrateful fuck. S3E7, fuck motivational books and fuck the rules, fuck the censorship and fuck the system. Thank you fucking so very much.